Hello everyone, welcome to the another video. As you can see the topics, I have tried to bring something new again, and this time we are gonna learn the alphabets, and this should be according to the chess terms. I'm gonna go from A to Z, and showing what is there in chess. Okay, so without any delay, let's start. Please like and subscribe to the stream for more fun chess contents. So let's start without any delay. So let's start. So children, A for, okay, so it will be unique. A for attack. So A for attack. So not nukes but like chess. Okay, look, boom 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 boom, attack. So B for not ball. Okay, bishop, sniper, boom, like the bishop is out, and there goes the boom. The bishop goes out, the rook goes out. So next, C for not cat. Okay, C for is castling. So whenever the bishop and the knight is out, you need to go for castling. Castling. D for defense. You should always go with attack and defense like good. Okay, so I'm gonna so this is the King's Indian defense. E for endgame. So bishop endgame, pawn endgame, rook endgame. It is the endgame. So look, this is the bishop endgame. Rook endgame. Sorry, simple rook endgame. Just example. Okay, F for fork. So fork will always be done by the rook. That is our thinking. Look, there will be some build up, sacrifice of the rook, and a royal fork. Okay, so there would be the simple, for fork like as shown, and the fork can be done with the help of bishop as well. Look, so that's the fork. So G for not gone, G for gambit. So there are multiple gambits in chess. So I'm going to show you some. Let's go with the London opening. Okay, it is the opening and gambit. Okay, there is not much difference. Okay, so first one is the London opening, and this is the Queen's gambit, and this is the gambit one. Okay, where you try to sacrifice or you give away a material. So and this one is King's Indian defense. It is still not a gambit, but you sacrifice the center, so that's why. H for hanging piece. So there would always be some piece, hanging piece that you should look into. So as you can see, I'm going to I'm going to take that bishop. Okay, and that bishop is the hanging piece. Even though the knight can defend it, the bishop can be called the hanging piece. Okay, I for Italian gambit. Italian opening, not food. Okay, Italian opening. I believe that's the right one. Okay, so we go with e4, e5, knight out, knight on c3, no f3, and on bishop on c4. Sorry, j4, z out. Okay, in this one, you know, this this word is quite unique. Okay, because you have not heard anything, and I had some great problem, like great problem to find any words that would go with J. And as I searched on Google, I found that J, Jadub. Okay, Jadub is a word that means that means adjusting a piece on the starting of the game. You have seen Magnus adjusting the piece. As you can see on the screen, there is a person adjusting that. So like that, if you adjust the piece, that can be called Jadub. Okay, so it was hard finding some word with J, so I went with that. So Jadub. Okay, let's go for K. K for king. Okay, always great almighty king. One step at a time. One step. That's called Pong Cloud. So one step at a time. One step at a time. As life it is. L for London. London, yeah, I just went with the London because it's the word that has been heard many times, and that you are familiar as well. So London starts with d4 d5 knight out on f3 and the bishop out. So this can be called London, and that is for L. So M for that monkey guys, not monkey children. M for motive. Okay, so motive is a thing in chess. Okay, let's say that in this situation you can see that the white is pushing the pawn and the king and the black knight plays the knight forward. Okay, so why is he playing that? What is his motive? What is the motive of playing the knight out? So you need to know that. That's why I've kept motive in the term of chess. Okay, so the motive of the knight here is to for the king and the queen, as the pawn is pinned and by the rook. Okay, so you need to know the motive. So M for motive, and for this is a surprise, and for the knight, because you write N while representing the knight and K while representing the king. Okay, so just a fun thing. And for knight, that's what we learned today in chess. Okay, so after N there is always O. So O for opening. So opening, that whenever you start, whenever you play any piece out of its place, like the pawn out, the another pawn out, and the knight out, anything you do, anything you start with, it can be called an opening. So P for pawn. The 8 mightiest heroes that stand in front of your other materials. So that is called pawn. P for pawn. Okay, so we go to the next Q. So for Q you might be familiar. Okay, so you you might have already guessed. So yes, you are right. Q for queen. Yes, I don't think I need to tell much more about the queen. So I've shown you the three materials, and you know that as well. So R for the rook. I was thinking I should go with the only rook. Okay, by not writing the in the rook. But as a great player or a great person have already said, it is the rook. So this R for rook. As for any guesses? I don't think so that you made the guess that I thought. Okay, so as for stalemate. Stalemate is the position where your king cannot move, and it is also not on the check. As you can see on the screen, the rook is on second rank, the bishop is guarding b1, and the king has no legal square, but the king is yet not defeated. So you might have also heard that, okay, the position of some country is stalemate. So that means cannot do anything, is not defeated yet. So as for stalemate, T for tactics. Okay, I believe in chess tactics is quite famous. Okay, so like what is that can be done, bringing the pawns to the center, bringing the knight out, bringing the bishop. How can I coordinate and bring a good tactics? T for tactics. That's the meaning of tactics. Okay, so let's go with U for under promotion. So under promotion is a type of promotion where where the the pawn have reached the promotion level. Okay, it can be promoted now, but it does not go with the queen. It goes with the knight, rook, or the bishop. So is called under promotion. U for under promotion. V for variation. Okay, so any one opening can have a different variation. Like, okay, like there is not a strict rule that okay, this opening, like there is like first 2 to 3 moves, but after that you can go with different moves, so that can be called variation. Okay, so W for weak square. Okay, so when you go on playing the chess, there will be some squares which is considered weak. Okay, means in that position, if the opponent plays any move, then plays or keeps the material, then that is considered a weak square. Or if the square that cannot be kicked out by the knight, by the pawn, then that is considered a weak square. Okay, so in this position you can see that on e4 there is the knight, and if the knight is there, then the pawn takes, kicking out the knight, the white has to take. And yeah, there is the pawn on f2, but for now it's the weak square, let's consider it, so X for any guesses, guys? Because this is the hardest word I had to, I just had to made up, or like there was some word, but I could not do anything about that. So X for X-ray pressure. Like when like X-ray pressure means like any materials that can attack through other, like let's say there is the king and there is the queen, like right behind it, so the bishop attacks it, and it goes through that diagonal to attack the queen. So like can X-ray pressure attack, like you can say anything. So like you know I had this, I just wished I could skip, but as we are learning from A to Z, so alphabets, so X is a must. So that is for X. So X for X-ray, X-ray, but I added a word. So let's go to the Y. So Y for young players like me. Okay, Y for, and that can be considered the concept of chess. So Y for young, okay, players, I added it. Okay, the last word Z. Z for no zebra. Z for is a journal tournament, which is also the related to chess. Okay, so guys, that is it. Okay, so if you have liked the video, please like and subscribe to the channel once again, and please turn on the bell notification. So if you have any feedbacks, please write it down on the comment. I'll try to improve it on the next one. So bye bye, take care, and see you again.